So, you are a British citizen wanting to get married to a Brazilian? Follow these steps and don't worry. In this video, I will explain everything I needed to do in detail. If you or your partner is the Brazilian citizen, we have another video explaining everything you need to do as a Brazilian partner. Firstly, make sure you have a valid UK passport and your original birth certificate. This must be long form and have both your parents' full names included. If you don't have your original birth certificate, you can request a copy from the General Register Office site. I'll put the link in the description. You will also need to give notice of your intent to marry at your local register office. This usually costs £42. Once you have given notice, you can request a Certificate of No Impediment, and this is issued 28 days after giving notice. Once the certificate is issued, it is likely only to be valid in Brazil for 90 days. So I'd suggest getting married in Brazil within those 90 days. However, if you're like me and my wife, and you haven't got 28 days to wait before your flight to Brazil, you can pay to make a statutory declaration, which can be a quicker process, but more expensive. A statutory declaration is an alternative to the CNI document, but you must go to a notary public. I found one locally. The statutory declaration is when you swear on oath in the presence of two witnesses that you are single and therefore legally allowed to get married. It is a written document and it must record what was said in the declaration, the date of issue, the number of your passport, and details to identify you as the declarant, and the names and numbers of the witnesses' passports. We have a link to a template that you can use. Again, I will put that in the description. The declaration must be signed by the person getting married and by the two witnesses. The notary public will also sign and stamp with a seal. After this, you need to get your birth certificate and marital status document apostilled with a Hague Apostille. Your notary public can also send them in the post to the Foreign and Commonwealth Development Office, where they will receive their apostilles. I'd recommend going with paper-based because in Brazil they don't tend to recognize digital documents. You must show your original or paper documents. This process may take a couple of weeks, or it could be quicker depending on how quick your postal service is. For this whole service, it cost us £382 thereabouts, £140 for certifying the declaration, £85 for legalising with an apostille for both the birth certificate and the statutory declaration, £60 for Foreign Office fees, £24 for London agents fees, and £20 for courier postage. Once you have the documents back and your passport, you can travel to Brazil. Upon entry, make sure they stamp your passport with a 90 days visa. This is the standard for any tourist visa in Brazil. The declaration or CNI document, whichever you choose to go with, as well as your birth certificate, must be translated from English to Brazilian Portuguese by a sworn translator in Brazil. Debby and I did this upon arrival. There is more information on what you need to do in Brazil in the video that I put a link to. Now, I want to explain that marriage is not something that should be entered into lightly. Debby and I know that it is a gift from God. Of course, anyone can get married on paper in man's law, but in God's law, it is between one man and one woman, for the purpose of displaying God's love through Christ Jesus. It is a sacrificial love where two become one and exchange their vows. So make sure that when you are getting married on paper, you also are exchanging your vows before God. God bless you and thank you for watching.